What is up, YouTube? It's Mekabre back with yet another Destiny 2 video. In today's video, we're going to be covering these seasonal weapons, so the weapons that came with Season 13. And the main focus for these weapons, or the one thing that I want you to take away, is that all but probably one of these are absolutely insane. And the reason one isn't, we'll get to that here in a second, but it makes sense when I explain it. Okay, but let's jump in to the season 13 seasonal weapons that are absolutely insane, and some god rolls that I think you need to take the time to grind out. Okay, so let's start with the sniper. I covered this in my previous video. If you haven't seen it, card up in the right hand corner, talking about sniping in general. And oh my goodness, although this sniper cannot roll with snapshot, is it incredible. Get a quick draw opening shot, get a moving target opening shot, and oh my goodness, this gun just feels so very nice. But let's talk about what else it can roll with. So obviously your first two columns, you have your barrel perks, you have your magazine perks. You know, each person has their own preference, but you're probably going to want to go with something that has range and or handling as your really what you're looking for, to be honest on this. Past that, you can kind of choose and pick whatever you'd like. Moving into the first perk column, we have Surplus. We have Lead from Gold, Quick Draw, Moving Target, Slide Shot, and Auto Loading. In the second, we have Wellspring, Demolitionist, Opening Shot, Thresh, Multi-Kill Clip, and Frenzy. So, what do I recommend this sniper for, and what is the god roll? Well, here's the thing. This sniper isn't particularly amazing in PvE. Not saying it's bad, there are plenty of good options for it. It's just not overall amazing, you know? And that's the problem with a lot of sniper rifles in PvE right now. Cool thing is we do have an anti-barrier sniper rifle, so if you'd like to use this in your energy slot, it is a solar sniper, I do believe, and yeah, you can choose to use it if you would like, but you don't have to. By any means, though, this is an amazing PvP sniper, and the roles that I would recommend, I kind of already touched on. Quick draw, an opening shot, or moving target, an opening shot. Some people are saying that Surplus is an excellent choice as well, and I would agree with that, but the problem is right now we're in such a meta where you spam abilities that Surplus probably isn't going to be procced all that often. So, like I said, quick draw opening shot, or moving target opening shot. Keep in mind, if you choose to run this on a Warlock, you can kind of negate using quick draw and go for that moving target opening shot and run Ophidian aspects to make sure that handling is a lot faster. That is, far future, the sniper rifle. Now let's move on to probably everyone's favorite from this season, and I could be incorrect in saying this, but I have seen way too many videos out there, and it's a good thing that I've seen way too many, by the way, of Extraordinary Rendition. This is a kinetic SMG. It's a 750 RPM SMG, by the way. And oh my goodness, this SMG is nice. It is very, very nice. Once again, one of the most amazing weapons. Like I said, there's only one bad-ish weapon that we get from the season, and this is most definitely not it. So let's go down. Obviously, you have your barrel perks, you have your magazine perks. Let's go into the first perk column, though. We have Overflow, Surplus, Outlaw, Zen Moment, Substance, and Firmly Planted. In the second, we have Multi-Kill Clip, Rampage. One for all. Tap the trigger, Thresh, and Frenzy. Okay, we will take the time to talk about Frenzy on this SMG, and I'll explain why here in a second. So in your first perk column, if you're going for a PvE role, which I highly recommend utilizing this SMG in PvE, Overflow is a fantastic choice, allowing you to double the capacity of the magazine when you run over a special or heavy brick, and one of those weapons needs ammo for it. Amazing perk. Honestly, I don't even know if I would go with anything else except for Overflow. The reload on it is a little slow, so maybe Outlaw if you're feeling it. Surplus, if you're one of those people that does not use your abilities too frequently in PvE, Surplus can also be actually a pretty decent option for this. But Overflow by far. If you're going for a PvP role, Surplus, once again, possibly if you're not going to spam your abilities. But honestly, I think I would go with Zen Moment because Causing damage increases your stability, just overall a solid perk. It's an SMG, so you want a lot of stability on this, so Zen Moment might be the way to go. Moving into your second perk column, like I said, you have that multi-kill clip, which honestly gives you a decent amount of damage increase based on the amount of kills that you get before reloading. You have Rampage, same deal, stacks up to 3. But I think the damage perk here I'm going to go with, and you have two choices, is either One for All, you just hit 3 targets and it activates, or Frenzy, the new boy on the street. That's right. Once you've been damaged, or, okay, the way Frenzy works is if you are getting damaged, or you are damaging someone else, for approximately 12 seconds, it will proc. It has a lasting time of 7 seconds. As long as you're taking damage, or you are constantly putting damage out within that 7 seconds, that timer is going to keep resetting. And here's the thing, this weapon doesn't even have to be out to proc Frenzy. You could be using a weapon that's not Frenzy, that doesn't have Frenzy at all, and you can still be working on proccing Frenzy. So a solid choice. One for All giving you that flat 35 buff after hitting 3 targets. Both are solid choices for PvE. Moving on to the PvP side in the second perk column, well, you have Tap the Trigger. This is going to allow you to increase that stability, but also increase your accuracy a little bit. So a solid choice for PvP, and if you're one of those people, you can turn around and use Rampage on this and absolutely melt someone. Want you to delete one person, turn around and reload real fast, maybe get that Outlaw Rampage, could be a solid option. That is Extraordinary Rendition. Moving on to Code Dwello. Yes, Code Dwello. I swear I am pronouncing this correctly. If you think I am incorrect in my pronunciation, go in the comment section down below and tell me why you think so. Code Dwello is a rocket launcher, and this one, whew, it's just good all around, let me say that. So, obviously you have your barrel perks, you have your magazine perks, casings, whatever you want to call them. Kind of pick and choose on this. It depends if you're going for something that is PvP and you want a fast rocket launcher, something that shoots really fast, or if you want a PvE where maybe shooting fast isn't as important, but you just want high damage. So look at those. Moving into the first perk column, we have Pulse Amplifier, we have Field Prep, Auto Loading, Quick Draw, and Surplus. In the second perk column, and get ready for this, we have Chain Reaction, Cluster Bomb, Lasting Impression, Unrelenting, Frenzy, and Ambitious Assassin. Whew, there are a lot of good ones here. So let's start with column 1. If you're going for a PvP God roll, 10 out of 10, choose Impulse Amplifier. This is going to send your rocket super fast, beyond faster than you can even think, okay? It makes it incredibly accurate too. Just based on the fact of how fast it goes, you're more likely to hit the target you're aiming at, and they don't have as much time to dodge out of the way. So Impulse Amplifier, and if you can't get an Impulse Amplifier, Quick Draw is always a good second, because oftentimes once you have heavy, you want to keep switching it out. You know, maybe you're in a gunfight where rocket launcher is not going to work, so you're going to switch to your Shoddy or something. Quick Draw will make that a little easier. As for PvE, well, I highly recommend auto-loading, actually. This is going to allow the gun to load itself, as long as you just store it. In the second perk column, like I said, Chain Reaction, Cluster Bomb, and Lasting Impression. Solid choices. Frenzy, if you're feeling up to it, and as long as you're dealing damage or taking damage, could be a solid choice. Lasting Impression is going to increase that DPS of the rocket launcher, so use this for boss fights. Solid choice. If you're going for a PvP god roll, definitely go with Cluster Bomb. It's going to blow up and make a larger area of effect, allowing you more likely to hit your target. And if you're going for a PvE ad clear kind of build, Chain Reaction or Cluster Bomb both work very well. That is Code Dwello. Now let's move on to the only bad weapon of the bunch here, and that is going to be Threaded Needle. Threaded Needle is a linear fusion rifle that sits in your heavy slot, and the reason this is the only bad-ish option on this list is because, well, it's a linear fusion rifle. They're just not in the best spot right now, and that makes it a little difficult for them to really shine. But obviously, you have your barrel perks, you have your battery perks in this case. I think everyone's trying to go for that liquid coils to increase charge time, or decrease charge time, and increase your impact. but I'm not exactly sure. I don't use linear fusion rifles too frequently. In the first perk column, we have Clown Cartridge, Rapid Hit, Auto-Loading, Killing Wind, Rangefinder, and Field Prep. In the second perk column, we have Demolitionist, Dragonfly, Vorpal Weapon, Thresh, Multi-Kill Clip, and Frenzy. So, what are you looking for? Well, here's the deal. Seeing as how it's not all that great in the first place, I don't know exactly what you're going to use this weapon for, but there are a few roles that I, myself, am trying to get. As for PvP, my personal favorite is probably going to end up being Rangefinder. Just giving you that little extra range, giving you a little extra zoom, I think this is going to be the way to go for PvP. In terms of PvE, however, I think I'm going to go for either Rapid Hit or Clown Cartridge. Rapid Hit increasing my stability and my reload speed based on precision hits, and Clown Cartridge just every time I reload, possibly going to have more ammo in the magazine. As for the second perk column, for PvP, it's hard to say. Vorpal Weapon may be a decent option here. And if not Vorpal, I think the next best bet would be Frenzy, just to hopefully increase your damage, but also the handling, which is the big focus if you're going to use this in the Crucible. In terms of PvE, however, I think I'm also going for either Vorpal or Frenzy. These two are going to allow me to hopefully amp up my damage, and matching that with Clown Cartridge or Rapid Hit will allow me to have more DPS output overall. And that is Threaded Needle. Let's move on to the second to last one, being Brass Attacks. This is a sidearm, okay? This sidearm is very, very similar. It's or two burst, I mean. It's very similar to a kinetic sidearm that was just recently sunset. If you know, you know. Obviously, you have your barrel perks, your magazine perks, and moving into the first perk column, we have Feeding Frenzy, Rapid Hit, Threat Detector, Killing Wind, Slideways, and Surplus. In the second perk column, we have Rampage, One for All, Dragonfly, Frenzy, Wellspring, and Sympathetic Arsenal. So what am I looking for? Well, this sidearm has actually not seen a whole lot of gameplay in the Crucible, which surprises me a little bit, seeing as how it can get some pretty cracked rolls. So what am I looking for in my Crucible roll? Well, I'm probably going to go with Killing Wind, and that's probably about it. Rapid Hit, while it will be useful, on a sidearm, you're going to be up close and personal, and you're not as worried about hitting your precision. You're just worried about spamming body shots. So definitely feeling Killing Wind on this one. Slideways also wouldn't be a bad option, allowing you to reload every time you slide. For PvE, however, in this first perk column, I am either going with the top three here. Feeding Frenzy, Rapid Hit, or Threat Detector all are going to be solid choices, and all are going to help you quite significantly. I think Threat Detector or Feeding Frenzy, however, are a little bit better than your Rapid Hit. In the second perk column for PvP, I am going to go for something either Rampage or Wellspring. These two are definitely going to help out, and if you're using Wellspring, you're getting your abilities back, allowing you to spam even more. As for a PvE god roll, Rampage will be a solid choice, and same with One for All, but I think the one you're going to really want to get is Frenzy, seeing as how this is going to help you out in pretty much every way, and procs very easily. That is Brass Attacks, and now we're moving on to the final weapon of Season 13 weapons, okay? That is Imperial Needle. I don't know what it is, I don't know why there's two needles, don't ask me. This is an energy bow, and whew, it is clean. You have your bowstring perks, you also have your arrow perks. Pick and choose as you'd like. Obviously, you're going to want something that's going to help with target acquisition, or you're going to want something that's going to just help overall in terms of draw time. You want that to be as low as possible. While this is a bow and probably won't see a ton of play in the Crucible, you can get it with Killing Wind, and let's actually jump into the first perk column because that's what it starts with. Killing Wind, Archer's Tempo, Impulse Amplifier, Quick Draw, Sneak Bow, and Hipfire Grip. As for the second perk column, we have Swashbuckler, Thresh, Wellspring, Opening Shot, Sympathetic Arsenal, and Frenzy. So in that first perk column, like I kind of already have said, Killing Wind is going to be a solid choice, However, Impulse Amplifier might be the way to go, seeing as how this is going to increase your projectile velocity, so the arrow's going to fly faster. But it's also going to increase your reload speed, so that draw time should come down on technicality. So I'd go with one of those. Quick Draw also wouldn't be a bad option, especially if you're going to pair this with a hand cannon. Now, in terms of PvE, I think there's really only two viable options. The first one being Archer's Tempo, where precision hit is going to decrease your draw time and can constantly be reset with precision hits, or Impulse Amplifier, which is just going to be a solid choice overall. In the second perk column, for PvP, I think you're going to want either Opening Shot or Swashbuckler. These two are going to massively help out in terms of, well, Swashbuckler in damage and Opening Shot in terms of hitting the person you're aiming for, and might give you an edge using this bow in the Crucible. In terms of PvE, however, there's really only one perk and one perk I'm aiming for, and that is Frenzy. By far, one of the best perks that we have seen in a long time, and oh my goodness, I think this is going to be the perk to go for. It's going to give you that damage buff. It's going to increase your reload, your handling, all of that. It's just a solid perk. All right, guys, I swear that is it. That is the 6 Season 13 weapons that are out. Those are the ones that I think you need to grind for, you know? Really only one that I would ignore. Now you might be asking yourself, okay, Mekabre, you just gave me a bunch of god rolls, and I would love to get them. How do I get them? And that is a solid question, and my answer to that question is actually quite simple. In the background gameplay right now, you see that I'm doing Battlegrounds. I'm doing Battlegrounds because there's a good chance, with the right upgrades on the war table, you can get a lot of good loot from Battlegrounds, specifically Season 13 loot. So make sure you go, maybe watch a video, make sure you read all of your options when you go to upgrade, but upgrade that table, get some of these weapons, grind like crazy. But here's the other nice thing, you can get these weapons from anywhere. That's right, as long as you complete the Battle Pass, and I believe you do have to buy the Premium Battle Pass, so sorry for those of you who do not have it, no worries though. You get it from pretty much any activity, and the nice thing is you can get any of the weapons from pretty much any activity. So you might be running Crucible one day, and you might actually walk out of there with a couple of brass attacks, maybe an Imperial Needle, I don't know. But you can get those weapons from different activities, so keep an eye out for that as well. That is it for this longer video. I apologize for the length. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe if you're not already. There's still a good chunk of you out there that aren't subscribed, so make sure you do. And I don't know if I have anything else to say except for the fact that we will be streaming Friday this week, so come tune in, 7:30 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, so come join us then. With that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and get back to grinding, you crazy guardians.